Welcome to English Tales Time, where amazing stories meet English learning. Today's tale will take you on an extraordinary journey through one of history's most inspiring lives, Nelson Mandela. Get ready to improve your English while discovering how one man's courage changed the world forever. Remember to turn on subtitles if you need them, and let's begin this amazing story together. Imagine a small village in South Africa, where on July 18, 1918, a special baby was born. His parents named him Ralilala, which in their language meant pulling the branch of a tree, though many people said it really meant troublemaker. Young Ralilala grew up running through green hills, herding cattle and playing stick fighting with other boys. His life changed forever when his father died. He was only 9 years old. This sad moment would shape his future in ways nobody could imagine. His mother took him to live with Chief John Jintaba, who became his guardian. This new home opened doors that most black children in South Africa never saw. At his new school, something interesting happened. His teacher couldn't pronounce Ralilala, so she gave him a new name, Nelson. Young Nelson loved learning. He was the first in his family to attend school, and he worked incredibly hard to make everyone proud. As Nelson grew older, he noticed something wasn't right in his country. Black people and white people lived completely separate lives. Black South Africans couldn't vote in elections, live in certain areas, use the same beaches or parks, attend the same schools, or even sit on the same benches. This system was called apartheid, and it would become Nelson's greatest challenge. Nelson went to Fort Hare University, one of the few places black students could study. Instead of becoming angry about the unfair system, Nelson chose to fight it with intelligence, legal knowledge, peaceful resistance, and unwavering dignity. He decided to become a lawyer, something almost unheard of for a black person in South Africa at that time. In 1944, Nelson joined the African National Congress, ANC. He wasn't just any member, he became a leader who inspired thousands. His speeches were powerful, yet he always spoke about peace and unity. No one is born hating another person because of the color of their skin, he would say. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. The government saw Nelson as dangerous not because he was violent but because his ideas about equality were powerful. In 1964, something dramatic happened. Nelson was put on trial for fighting against apartheid. In court, he gave a famous speech about fighting against both white and black domination, cherishing the ideal of a democratic and free society. Nelson was sentenced to life in prison. He spent 27 years in jail, mostly on Robben Island. Even in prison, Nelson never stopped learning or teaching. He studied through correspondence courses, taught fellow prisoners, learned Afrikaans, and gardened and exercised to stay strong. His prison number was 46,664. While Nelson was in prison, something amazing happened. People around the world learned about his story and started demanding his freedom. They organized protests, wrote songs, created art, boycotted South African products, and pressured their governments to act. The world united in support of his. On February 11, 1990, Nelson Mandela walked out of prison a free man. The world watched in amazement. Instead of calling for revenge, he spoke of leaving bitterness and hatred behind. His words inspired millions and showed the power of forgiveness. In 1994, Nelson Mandela became South Africa's first Black president. He worked tirelessly to unite the country, forgive past enemies, build a new democracy, create opportunities for all, and promote reconciliation. He even supported the mostly white South African rugby team, turning them into a symbol of unity. Nelson Mandela died on December 5, 2013, but his legacy lives on. People called him Madiba, or simply Tata. His life teaches us many lessons about forgiveness, education, persistence, leadership, and peaceful change. These principles continue to inspire people around the world. Throughout this story, we've learned many powerful English words and phrases that help us understand important ideas that can change our world. Nelson Mandela once said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." By learning English through stories like his, you're connecting with ideas that can inspire you to make a difference. Take a moment to think about what part of Mandela's story inspired you the most, which new English words you'll remember, and how you can apply his lessons in your life. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to practice the new vocabulary you've learned today. Thank you for joining us on English Tales Time.